Now, guys, what does it say at the top of the sheet? It says topic 5.1. What does it say? What are we doing? Solving equations by factoring. Now, we've solved quadratic equations before. We mainly solved them by graphing. Okay? When we had a parabola, what were the solutions? What were the solutions? The what? The x-intercept. So now we had, if it crossed the x-axis twice, okay, how many solutions did we have? Two. If it just touched it once, how many solutions did we have? One. And if it didn't cross the x-axis, we had zero solution. Now, when we solved using our calculator, okay, what did we have to put in our calculator in the second y equals?
Zero.
Y equals
Zero.
0. Okay? Now, in just a little bit, we're going to substitute 0 in for y because we want to find the same thing. Okay? But we're going to solve it instead of, graphing it and think we're going to solve it by factoring, and that's what the lesson is on today. Now, okay, up at the top, okay, if we substitute 0 in for y, and we have two numbers, we have an 8 and something we don't know, what does that question mark have to be to make that equal 0 if we're multiplying those together?
0.
0. Okay? Or, if this equals 0 times a, what does that one have to be? 0. Okay, now, to solve, once we have it factored, to solve, okay, all we have to do is set each factor equal to 0. For instance, our two factors right here, we have the x minus 2 and we also have the, what does that say? X. Okay, now these first couple are already factored. So what we're going to do is set each one of these equal to 0. So we'll have x equals 0 and, or you can use the word or, x minus 2 equals 0. And now, is this one solved for x?
Yeah.
Yes. Is x by itself? Yeah. Now, how would I solve for x here?
Add 2.
Add 2 to both sides. Okay, there's two solutions. One of them is, what's that say? X equals 0 or x equals 2. There's my two answers. Okay, so if it's factored, set it equal to 0 and solve for x. For instance, right here, number 2, we have two factors. Set each one equal to 0. Now on this first one, how would I solve for x? Add 3 to both sides, so x equals 3, or what would I do to this one? Subtract 4. X equals negative 4. Alright, now number 3, is it already factored? Is it already factored?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so how do I solve?
Putting them equals 0.
Okay, so 2n minus 4 equals 0, and 3n plus 5 equals 0. And this first one, how would I solve for n?
Add 4.
Add 4 to both sides. Okay, so that gives me 2n equals 4,
N equals 2.
and then divide by 2. So n equals what?
2.
2. Very good. And then the other one.
Is 2? Oh, yeah.
Okay, the other one, what did I do first?
Subtract 5.
Subtract 5. So 3n equals negative 5. And then what would I do? Divide by 3. Does that come out to a whole number?
No.
No, so just leave it like that. N equals negative
5.
5 over 3. Okay, so now, is number 4 factored? No. So the first thing we have to do is what? Factor it. Okay? So now, let's draw our box. Oh, dang. This stuff again. What goes in the first box? 2x squared. What goes in the bottom box? Negative 28. Oops. That's a negative 28. Okay, they're going to add together to be the middle term. What's the middle term? Negative 1x. And they're going to multiply together to be negative 56x squared. I remember multiply the first term and the last term. All right, now think of the factors of 56. All right. 8 times what? 7. Does that equal 56? Well, let's see which one it is. 8 times 7 equals 56. Okay, now one of them has to be negative. So we have 7x and 8x. Which one can we make? Which one to equal negative 1 do I need to make negative? Negative 8. Okay, so those go in these two boxes. What's that?
Why are you doing
Because we have to find out what goes in these two boxes. Now, what am I going to multiply together to get 2x squared? What am I going to multiply together to get 2x squared? X and 2x, right? Now, what do I need to put on the top? X or 2x? X. Because 2x will not go into 7. So x times what is 7x? 7. Okay. What times 2x is negative 8x? Negative 4. Is negative 4 times 7 negative 28? Negative 4 times 7? Yes, it is. So my two factors are x minus 4 times 2x plus 7. Okay, set it equal to 0. Now, how do I solve it? Okay, set them both equal to 0. X minus 4 equals 0. And 2x plus 7 equals 0. Okay, how would I solve for x here? Add 4, so x equals 4. Okay, here, how do I get rid of the 7? Subtract 7. So 2x equals negative 7. Then the last step, divide by 2. Very good. So my two solutions are x equals 4 or negative 7 over 2. Okay, now, truthfully, this stuff right here, is it anything we haven't done before? No. We're just putting a couple things together, just taking it one step further. Now, on 5, when we look at 5, okay, what's the first thing we need to do? What? Right, now, is it all on the same side? No, so the first thing we have to do is move everything to the same side. I want to keep this a squared positive, so I'm going to move everything over here. So now, how could I move this negative 5a to the other side? Add 5a. Okay. How could I move this positive 24 to the other side? Subtract 24. Set it equal to 0. Okay. We have it all on the same side. Now, I need to factor. This one's a little bit easier to factor.
Do we always have to draw it?
If you can do it mentally, but the one thing about the box, if you know it's going to work, if you can do it mentally, this one some of you could probably do it mentally. But if you understand the box, you can do the box because you'll get it right. What?
How you do it mentally?
I don't know that.
Can you do it mentally?
Okay. Okay. Well, it's the same thing. Okay. Now, here, what goes in the first box? A squared. Bottom box? Negative 24. Okay, they're going to add together to be the middle term, which is 5a, and multiply together to be negative 24a squared. Okay, now, factors of 24. Now, it's either 6 and 4 or 8 times 3. So which one am I going to use? 8 times 3. 8a and 3a. Which one do I need to make negative?
How do you know it's 8?
Because we want them to add together to be 5.
5.
Yes, but I have to make one of them negative because it's a negative 24, right? That tells me one of them's positive, one of them's negative. Okay? And if I go 6 and 4, I can make that be 2, but nothing else. Okay? But 8 and 3, if I subtract one of them, I can get to 5. Okay? So if I make the 3a negative, okay, now they go in the box. I'm going to put 8a in the first one and negative 3a in the bottom. This one we can factor pretty quick. What times what is a squared? A times a. A times what is negative 3a? Negative 3. What times a is 8a? 8 is 8 times negative 3, negative 24. Yes, so we factored it correctly. So we have a plus 8 times a minus 3 equals 0. Now, some of you right here could look at it and say, okay, what's my solution here? If I subtract 8 from both sides. A equals negative 8. Or a equals positive 3. If you can do it right there, that's fine. As long as I see the factors. Now, if you have coefficients in front of the a, I would show your work a little bit. But all I did was subtract 8, and all I did was add 3. Okay? But if you can show me your factors and give me those answers, that's fine as well. Okay? Now, do we need to rewrite number 6? Yes. How would I move this negative 3x squared to the other side? Add 3x squared. I still need to rewrite this. What am I going to write next to get it in standard form? Well, to get what do we need? What do we need next? Okay, so minus 19x plus 6. All I did was rewrite it. Okay, my x squared, my x term, and then the coefficient. Okay, now, okay, 3x squared goes in the first box. 6 goes in the bottom box. They're going to add together to be the middle term, that's negative 19x, and multiply together to be 18x squared. Now, we multiply them together to be positive. That tells me they're either both positive or both negative. But they're going to add to be negative. So what am I dealing with, positives or negatives? Negatives. Okay? Now, when these are off by 1, you can usually say that it's it and 1, right? So my two factors are negative 18x and negative 1x. Oh, sorry. Now, do those multiply together to be 18x squared? Yes. Do they add together to be negative 19? Yes. Yeah. What's negative 18 minus 1 more? The signs are the same, so you add and keep the sign. What is negative 18 minus 1? Negative 18 minus 1? Okay. Negative 18x. Negative x. Okay, what am I going to multiply together to give me 3x squared? 3x and x. What do I need to put on the top? X. Good. Okay, so x times what is negative x? No.
Negative
Negative what?
1.
Negative 1. Okay. What times 3x is negative 18x? Negative 6. Is negative 6 times negative 1 positive 6?
Yes.
Yes. So my two factors are x minus 6 times 3x minus 1. Set it equal to 0. To solve, set this factor equal to 0 and this factor equal to 0. So x right here equals positive 6. Okay, to solve this one, I'm going to add 1. Divide by 3. So x equals negative, or x equals 6 or 1/3. Okay, now you will see a lot of problems like this. Okay, now W stands for what? Width. Okay, we know it's a quadratic. How do we know this is a quadratic? Because of the
Square.
square. Okay, so now one way to solve for W would be to factor. Okay, now when I have this, okay, what do I need to do first?
Get them all on one side.
Okay, so how am I going to move that 18?
Subtract.
Subtract it. So I have W squared minus 7W minus 18, set it equal to 0. Okay, let's factor. I have W squared, negative 18. Okay, they're going to add together to be negative 7W and multiply together to be negative 18W squared. Okay, now, they multiply to be negative. What does that tell us?
One's positive.
One's positive and one's negative. Okay? Think of the factors of 18. We have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. That's about it. Okay, so which ones of those can I use to get to negative 7?
2 and 9.
Okay, so I have 9W and 2W. I have to make them add together to be negative 7. Which one do I need to make negative? 9. Okay, so I have negative 9W and 2W. Okay, what times what's W squared?
W.
W times W. What W times what is 2W? Okay, then negative 9 times W is negative 9W, and negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. Set our factors equal to 0. W minus 9 equals 0, and W plus 2 equals 0. Okay, how would I solve for this one? Add 9. So W equals 9, or subtract 2. W equals negative 2. Now, okay, now there's two solutions on the parabola. Okay, but we're looking for the what? What does W stand for? The width. Is it reasonable to have a width of negative 2? Draw a picture of something that has a width of negative 2. Can you do it? No. So what would be the solution? The width would be 9, because this is not reasonable. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.